Welcome back to India Inside, the GCC Advantage. We're the CoreBridge GCC Desk.
And our mission is pretty straightforward.
It is. We want to give global and Indian leaders the strategic insight they need to navigate and really capitalize on India's massive potential as the world's #1 global capability hub.
We try to cut through the noise, and focus on the deep structural changes that are reshaping business decisions, not just in India, but globally.
And today, we are diving into the absolute bedrock of India's ascent.
The digital infrastructure revolution.
Exactly. For decades, the global business story, the story about India was dominated by infrastructure deficits. It was all about bridging the gaps in roads, power, logistics. But that narrative has completely flipped. India hasn't just caught up. It has proactively built one of the most powerful public-backed digital ecosystems on the planet.
This is the foundation. It's the structural enabler that guarantees speed, scalability, and really radical innovation for the next wave of global capability centers, or GCCs.
Right. So if you're a CXO listening to this and you're planning any kind of high-tech function, you absolutely have to understand this foundation.
You do.
So let's try and unpack this shift, this move from, digital divide to digital dominance. Maybe we can start with some of the numbers. What are the metrics that really define the sheer magnitude of this change over the last decade?
Okay, let's start with reach. Just the sheer number of people. Internet users have exploded from about 250 million to over 880 million.
Wow.
That is an enormous addressable digital population. It's actually larger than the combined populations of the EU and the US.
And at the same time, the cost of data just plummeted.
It did, by over 90%.
90%. Now, that's a key detail because it really speaks to affordability.
It does.
When you combine that massive scale, 880 million users, with the world's most affordable data, you create the conditions for rapid, deep innovation. This isn't just a consumer benefit.
No, it's a huge enterprise advantage.
Yeah.
And the clearest manifestation of this revolution is, of course, the Unified Payments Interface, UPI.
UPI is just phenomenal. We're talking about transactions that crossed $2 trillion in the last fiscal year alone.
2 trillion.
That figure surpasses the combined total value of all credit and debit card transactions in India. That is massive.
And what's fascinating here is why it works so well. This incredible leap is based on what's often called the India stack.
The public digital infrastructure model.
Exactly. It's a combination of verified digital identity, which is Aadhaar, secure document storage with DigiLocker, and of course, instant payments with UPI.
It's this open framework, right? Combined with the private sector building on top of it.
Precisely. And that creates a unique environment of trust and transaction. It's such a powerful blueprint that countries all over the world, from Brazil to the UAE, are now actively looking to replicate parts of this DPI.
So let's translate this macro story into, tactical advantages for the decision makers listening. We're focusing on what we're calling the digital triad: 5G, UPI, and AI. How does this combination fundamentally change the operational playbook for a GCC?
It changes everything. Let's start with the bedrock of all operations, connectivity and speed. Pillar 1 is 5G.
And the rollout has been incredibly fast.
Arguably the fastest globally. It now covers over 700 districts and serves, over 80% of the population?
Okay, but fast rollout doesn't automatically mean enterprise-grade quality. If I'm running a high-stakes real-time analytics center from, say, Coimbatore, what's the tactical benefit of 5G speed beyond, just faster phone surfing?
The tactical benefit is crucial latency reduction. This is the real difference between reactive and predictive operations.
Okay.
Think about advanced manufacturing, where machine sensors are generating petabytes of data, or a remote medical imaging center that needs instant feedback. If your command delay is cut from 100 milliseconds down to maybe 10.
That's the difference between a minor delay and continuous real-time control.
Exactly.
So reduced latency essentially de-risks distributed operations.
Absolutely. It makes seamless distributed work models truly viable. It enables the remote operation of really sophisticated equipment, even in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities.
Which means GCCs can choose locations based on talent or policy incentives without having to sacrifice operational performance.
That's it. The connectivity constraint is disappearing.
The speed of connection is critical, but the flow of capital is the fuel for that digital engine. Let's move to UPI. Processing 12 billion transactions every month. In real time, this creates a financial innovation sandbox that just doesn't exist at the scale anywhere else.
That's the key term, sandbox. For any GCC focused on fintech, e-commerce, or embedded finance, UPI is an unparalleled laboratory. Because it's an open API layer, it allows instant testing and scaling of low-value, high-volume transactions.
So you can test concepts for cross-border remittances or integrate payment rails into an app within months, not years.
Yes, and this capability is being actively linked to state-led financial hubs, isn't it?
It is. UPI offers integration opportunities directly with specialized hubs like Gift City in Gujarat.
And the state policy there explicitly promotes fintech R&D and digital payment innovation. It creates a regulatory environment where your GCC can collaborate directly with financial regulators to pilot new products before they go global.
So we've covered the speed and the money flow. The third pillar is AI integration. We know the global AI race is fierce. Where does India stand, and what capability is being developed within Indian GCCs right now?
India is moving very rapidly from being a consumer of global AI models to a key developer. We have over 1,500 AI startups, and the federal government is backing the India AI mission with multi-billion-dollar investments.
And a lot of that is targeting public-private partnerships for talent development and research. So for a GCC, what are the actionable use cases being driven here?
Well, the capabilities being built internally are extensive. They're leading in predictive analytics for supply chains, developing specialized automation for complex back-office tasks, and they're achieving breakthroughs in computer vision for quality control in manufacturing.
And a major focus is on digital twins, right?
A huge focus. These virtual replicas of physical systems for sectors like healthcare and manufacturing allow for process optimization and fault prediction in real time. The talent pool is now moving to build the AI capability, not just manage it.
And this is where it gets really compelling for a CXO. This digital evolution isn't just organic. It's being actively supported, often subsidized by state government.
Exactly. They view digital infrastructure as the absolute core of their new industrial policy.
The states realize that the fastest way to attract high-value, non-traditional GCCs is by de-risking the digital environment. We see this explicitly in the recent policies from states like Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh.
Let's look at Gujarat's GCC policy, the one for 2025 to 2030. They are explicitly prioritizing what they call digital corridor development.
Right, linking hubs like Ahmedabad, Gift City, and the Dollar Industrial Zone. What kind of direct support are they offering to anchor these capabilities? It's tangible financial support. CapEx and OpEx assistance, specifically for digital infrastructure investments. So they're subsidizing the cost of dedicated cloud services, high-speed bandwidth, and specialized hardware.
And they're promoting AI centers of excellence.
Yes, and they subsidize R&D partnerships with local universities. They are literally using state funds to lower the cost and risk of standing up a complex digital operation.
And Madhya Pradesh's 2024 policy takes a slightly different angle. It focuses more on talent and intellectual property.
It does, which is vital for an AI-first GCC. Their policy, focused on IT and AI-enabled service delivery, provides payroll reimbursements and substantial skilling grants for critical talent.
So AI specialists, data scientists, automation engineers.
The works. And crucially, they integrate patent support. So if a GCC generates proprietary tech, let's say a new risk forecasting algorithm, the state helps subsidize the costs for filing and protecting that IP globally. So to crystallize that, states are moving beyond basic incentives. They're offering direct subsidies to foster core innovation and protect the output. Do you think these policies are effectively de-risking location scouting for these high-tech capabilities?
They absolutely are. And we're seeing the proof. The real-world effectiveness of this convergence digital triad plus smart policy is perfectly illustrated by the case of a leading global bank.
Okay, let's run through that. A major London-headquartered global bank needed to set up an AI-driven risk management and analytics GCC.
Right. And their initial evaluation in 2021 included the usual suspects, Poland, Singapore, and India.
And the decision was complex because this wasn't just about scale. They were looking for strategic leadership.
Exactly. They needed an environment where their AI models could operate at peak efficiency and regulatory scrutiny was streamlined. And the final decision pivoted to Gujarat.
So why Gujarat? Over a mature financial hub like Singapore or a lower-cost option like Poland?
3 key factors. First, policy leverage. The Gujarat policy offered specific incentives for AI-based innovation, including that essential patent support and CapEx reimbursement for their high-performance computing needs.
Okay.
Second, they gained direct, streamlined access to the Gift City fintech ecosystem. That made regulatory collaboration on new risk models much faster than it would have been in the EU or APAC.
And the third?
The guaranteed proximity to proven, high-speed digital infrastructure. The 5G operations ensured the low latency they needed for their real-time trading floor analytics.
And the outcome, let's say 30 months in, did the decision pay off?
It really did. They created over 600 specialized roles in AI, data science, and risk analytics. They achieved a 25% lower total cost of ownership compared to what they projected for Singapore.
And that's not just payroll savings.
No, that TCO saving included significant regulatory and speed-to-market benefits. And most importantly, they developed proprietary risk forecasting algorithms, partially funded by Gujarat's IP Assistance Program. This wasn't a back-office center. It was immediately a global analytics leadership hub.
That's a powerful example. And it brings us to a crucial point. This revolution extends beyond the traditional Tier 1 metros.
Our CoreBridge GCC Desk Ecosystem Readiness Report for this year highlights what we're calling a silent revolution in Tier 2 cities. We're looking at emerging hubs like Ahmedabad, Indore, Bhopal, Coimbatore, and Bhubaneswar.
And what's the digital readiness like in these hubs? Are they actually ready for high-tech functions?
The data says yes. We found 5G coverage is already over 80% in most of these cities, and internet penetration averages over 70%.
Plus, you have the National Investment in Smart City initiatives,
which exceeds $20 billion. That provides the complementary physical infrastructure, smart grids, integrated transport that supports the needs of a modern GCC employee base. The old digital infrastructure constraint is, for all intents and purposes, gone.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, why is India leading this digital race compared to competitors like Poland or Vietnam or the Philippines for these high-tech GCCs?
India's key differentiator is the maturity and scale of its advanced open digital public infrastructure, or DPI.
Right. Aadhaar, UPI, and now the Open Network for Digital Commerce, ONDC.
And we should probably quickly define ONDC for anyone listening. It's essentially India's attempt to democratize e-commerce and logistics. It's an open source protocol for buyers and sellers, very similar in concept to what UPI did for payments.
That helps. So how do competitors stack up against this integrated stack?
Well, if you look at Poland, they have moderate digital maturity, but their fintech and regulatory environment is very EU dependent, less flexibility for local innovation.
Okay.
And places like Vietnam and the Philippines have lower overall digital maturity, lower AI readiness scores, and their internal fintech systems tend to be more limited or closed corporate ecosystems.
So India's integrated foundation provides this unique blend of reliability, massive scale, and open architecture that others just don't match yet. You're not just building on connectivity, you're building on a digital society that's already transacting at scale.
Precisely. Which brings us to the key question for global CXOs.
Yeah.
How do you strategically synthesize this digital advantage into an actionable plan?
Let's break down the key takeaways. First, let's talk about de-risking global operations.
Reliable 5G connectivity, inherent digital compliance through the India stack, and fintech interoperability through UPI. It all massively reduces operational friction and increases uptime. It's foundational security for business continuity.
Second, the formula for next-gen enterprise capability.
The formula is pretty simple, but powerful. AI plus UPI plus 5G. This triad is what enables the next generation of capability. It supports real-time decision-making and hyper-automation.
And third, strategic expansion, affordability.
The digital readiness of Tier 2 cities is confirmed. It allows companies to expand their capability footprints affordably, tap into new talent pools, all without compromising on connectivity or security.
And finally, policy leverage, knowing where and how to maximize your investment.
You have to explicitly understand that state GCC policies in places like Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh directly subsidize your digital infrastructure and innovation. You're being incentivized to build your high-tech capability center here.
And this all anchors India's status as the world's capability capital. By 2030, the projections are what, over 2,000 GCCs?
That's right. Employing more than 4 million professionals, all built upon these domestic digital layers. And we have to recognize this digital foundation isn't just for India anymore. It's becoming an export model.
As other countries look to replicate open frameworks like UPI and Aadhaar.
India's innovation model is actively influencing global standards for digital governance.
So we'd encourage you to reflect on that. How might India's successful DPI model influence your own organization's global digital governance strategy? The future GCC isn't just operating in India, it's being powered by India.
And if your organization is looking to map and operationalize these powerful digital strengths, from mapping digital corridors to aligning policy incentives and building AI-ready talent ecosystems, the CoreBridge GCC Desk is here to help you build for the future faster.
We invite you to explore the CoreBridge curated resources and policy insights linked in the description below this deep dive. You'll find a detailed analysis of both the Gujarat and MP GCC policies there.
And please join us next time. We'll be shifting focus to another critical component of India's ascent: the evolving talent landscape and the strategic skilling initiatives driving sustained growth in the GCC ecosystem.
Thank you for joining this deep dive.
This research synthesizes publicly available data and official policy documents. Policy terms, incentive amounts, and digital infrastructure data may evolve. Listeners are advised to verify the latest information via official state portals and primary sources.